5 tips to help you get out of a shooting slump and have you shooting the basketball with more confidence. Number 1 is sample size. We have to make sure that we have a big enough sample size in order to correctly evaluate our shot. Let's say you have a game where you're 1 for 5, and then the next game you're 1 for 3. So 2 for 8 for the week. We're not feeling that great about ourselves. But if we look at the 1 for 5 game, one of those shots may have been a half court shot at the end of the third quarter at the buzzer. Another miss may have been a tip in that rolled in and out. We're not going to evaluate those 2 shots the same as perhaps the other 3. Maybe the other 3 shots that game were 2 stationary catch and shoot threes. You made one and you missed one that hit the back rim. You had a mid-range pull-up jump shot off of a hard closeout. That one also was straight, hit the back rim. Realistically, we're 1 for 3 on more of our game-based type shots. We made one, the other 2 were straight. We're shooting pretty well, even though the stats indicate we're 1 for 5. The next game, we're 1 for 3. We might have missed a transition finish. Defender did a nice job. We made a wrong decision with our footwork. And then again, you shot 2 threes, made one, missed one. Realistically, we're shooting pretty well, even though we're 2 for 8 statistically. It's very important that we have a big enough sample size with the shots that we want to take so that we can correctly evaluate ourselves. Number 2 is shot selection. Breaking down the individual needs of your team and their structure combined with your own individual strengths and weaknesses as a shooter. When it comes to having great shot selection, we want to make sure that the shots we take line up with our coach's system as well as our own individual strengths and weaknesses. As far as shooting the basketball goes, we want to make sure we cover the 3 R's: rhythm, range, and room, and we want to start to peel back on the questionable shots. You might have a game where you shot 4 for 9, not bad, not great. But however, if you look at those 9 shots that you took, there might have been one that was a really hard closeout. We shot it anyway when realistically it could have been a shot fake into a drive and maybe a finish or a kick out. Then maybe we had another one where we were feeling ourselves, a little too much dip on a chip, a little too much sauce on it. We hit a couple shots. We hit a transition 3. We had a transition layup. So now we come down. We start to ISO, get in our bag a little bit, forced a tough shot, and missed it. We take those 2 shots out. Now we're 4 for 7, and we continue to build up that shooting percentage, and we're less likely to fall into a slump later on. The third one is evaluating the specific result of the shot. Not just did it go in or not, but we're breaking down short, long, right or left, touch, backspin, balance. We're getting detailed with every single shot that we take. It's very important that we take a detailed approach to each and every shot. Let's say you take a mid-range 1 dribble pull-up and you miss it front rim. And then you also take a stationary catch and shoot 3 and miss it front rim. Even though their front rim misses, because they're different shot types, there could be a different reason why each shot was missed short. When we evaluate each shot specifically, that's going to allow us to get a more detailed and better answer. And number 4, and this one may upset a few people, but we have to be really honest with ourselves. Maybe you're not good enough to even get mad. You're not good enough to even be in a shooting slump. You see, great shooters, they're created, right? They're not born, they're made. And so maybe you're not good enough to even get into a shooting slump. Maybe you missing shots is just another Tuesday, another game day. You have to earn the right to even get into a shooting slump because you're good enough to have days where, you know what, maybe we are missing some shots more so than we usually do. Now it's time for us to break down and look at it from a detailed way and see how we can continue to get better. So we need to be really honest with ourselves and ask, are we in a shooting slump or is this actually who we are as a shooter? And it's time to get back in the lab and improve our game. And the 5th one that we haven't touched on is our practice, our reps. What does our preparation look like? And so there's many different ways that we can break this down, but obviously great shooters put in the time, they put in the work. You earn the right to become a great shooter, earn the right to get into a shooting slump every once in a while. And when it comes to putting in the work, there's a lot of different ways that we can get repetitions in, from block practice, variable practice, random practice, game-based drills. Block practice would be a great way to refine some technique. If you're a beginning shooter, working on some of your mechanics, but we don't want to make 10 threes out of spot. That'd be your workout, right? Variable practice, we're varying the shot type that we have throughout the course of a specific drill. randomized practice, right? There's decisions to be made before we get into the shots that we take. Game-based drills are obviously a combination. We have bodies out there, really good application for what this is going to look like in a game, because there's defenders out there, there's closeouts in there. So we want to make sure that we're changing up our practice types, and that's going to allow us to get repetitions in that are going to improve our game in the specific areas of need. You want to work on your technique, a little more block practice will help. You need to get more live reps, game-based drills. You want to work on variable and random practice, so your shots are changing things up just like you're going to in a game. Execute there. Hopefully on our YouTube channel you'll find different drills in there that you can apply. And if you have any more questions or you want even a deeper dive into it, go to our membership, coachesedge.coach, or the Kramer Basketball app. Get after it.